What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka Why's His Soul Told? Can't even. AKA Why Is His Soul So Tight? What does that even mean? AKA Who Keeps Sucking on My Cornbread? AKA Mr. Peanut Butter Without the Jelly? AKA, let me put a tongue on the toenail real quick. AKA the undisputed. No, I'm not. I can't even say that. AKA the Komaki Tiger Dropper. AKA the Nigga Lip Master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites. Episode 164. I'm back. Took a extra little week off. Kind of reset this bi-weekly thing either way. So, yeah. I'm back, baby. I'm back like I never left. I never left, though. I never announced it, but I never left. Yeah, man. Feels it feels like it's been a minute, which I guess technically it has. What's been going on? I mean, gaming wise, there's been a fair amount of stuff going on, which we will talk about. But yeah, you know what? Yeah. So, without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. Stadia. Stadia shutting down. Newsflash. Like, I mean, I think we all saw this coming. I think every single person saw it coming. But they are finally shutting down. So yeah, they're basically shutting down the cloud streaming service. The service will remain live until January 18th, 2023. Google is refunding all Stadia purchases, as well as hardware and add-ons purchase, which is actually pretty surprising. So apparently, like, regardless of when you purchased the Stadia, I was one of the few that did. Like, oh, maybe this might take off if they actually care, but they apparently didn't. That, you know, it would take off, but yeah, very surprising that they're literally refunding people who purchased the devices. So good on them for doing that either way. But yeah, like I said before, when Stadia's came up in the news previously, they really needed to have some sort of Netflix model to make this service compelling at the very least, which they refused not to do. You still had to, if you wanted to play a game on Stadia, you had to purchase a game outright, and that would technically give you the rights to play the game indefinitely, or well, guess not definitely indefinitely in this case, but yeah, in terms of the entirety of the services live. But yeah, that's not a very great way to go about it. They really should have had some type of Netflix like model, Game Pass even like model, where, you know, rotating set of games that come in and come out at a certain period of time. Basically, you pay one flat rate to have access to a whole plethora of games in their library, and go about it that way. But no, you can only purchase the game that you want specifically, and have to pay full price as if this is a console and a game that won't disappear, which given the circumstances, is not the case. So we all knew this was come. This would come. This is indicative of just the well, the tradition of Google. You know, I think we've talked about that at nauseum too. Like starting up all these new companies, realizing the company is not working out, and then everybody jumping ship, and then another dead company. So yet another addition to the 220 plus companies Google's started and failed and is in the graveyard, the Google graveyard. I think that's the website. So there you go. Yeah, another one bites the dust. I gotta respect Google though for at least trying to, you know, be ahead of the curve, if you will, to try to embrace what technically was kind of like the future, but it just didn't do it right. And then of course, you know, for gamers, quote unquote, you know, for me at least, I tried it a little bit. Played, I think the only game I played was Samurai Showdown. Played it, just noticed the lag, and I was like, ugh, no, get it away from me. And I was done with it. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I know it's apparent we'll eventually get to this one day, but I don't. It's not today. But that's the frustrating part. It's like Google could have sustained themselves if they implemented that model, but they were so hard headed and didn't want to do that, even though the writing was clearly legible during everything. You know, a lot of the head people jumping ship. The one developer jumped ship, and then also let's mention specifically how messed up that they were with a lot of the companies that were actually developing games, and just finding out the news as we all did publicly, specifically that like devs were still finishing up games to release exclusively for this console, or quote unquote console, and yet nothing. Just I guess we're not developing for this. Are we still getting paid? All right. Okay, thanks Google. So I bet that's fun. So you got that. All in all bad. Google, they could have had something, but they chose not to. They chose not to. That's what happens. That is what happens. Moving on. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I think I want to say we maybe talked about this before, but rumors of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that's coming out pretty shortly will have paid DLC massive map pack, which I think that specifically we did talk about. But in addition to that rumor, at least something a little bit more savory to munch on, if you will, is the fact that it will also include classic maps from other Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer games, obviously within the Call of Duty franchise, that will also be coming for year 2, in terms of that supposed map pack. So I'm guessing all of this will be encapsulated together in one big paid thing, and that's another addition, is that apparently this is going to be a paid map pack. So you have that in effect also. But that definitely leads to some more interesting stuff, like just playing like Nuketown 2023, or what's That's Treyarch. What's Sledgehammer's like? Would it be? Did they work on? I don't think they worked on Infinite Warfare. It was Advanced Warfare. How's that gonna work with a boots on the ground game? I guess they could just adjust for it, but definitely see a lot of Treyarch's maps. And that's the question of itself: how many maps we're talking? Like, is this gonna be a damn near like Call of Duty, like mobile type thing, where I think Call of Duty Mobile has a lot of compiled maps from all of the franchise, various games in the franchise compiled together. So I guess that groundwork was kind of somewhat maybe implemented anyway. So, but good to hear either way, because I mean, one of my favorite games within the series, to get another like shot of adrenaline next year, I'm all for. Hopefully, this base game will be great, because if 2019 is any indication, I don't know, with the beta, I have a few concerns. Hopefully that might be alleviated when the main game comes out. But I guess we'll see. I was engaged, so we shall see. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm gonna play it either way. Just if I'm if I'm gonna enjoy it is probably the bigger question. But cool stuff either way. In addition to that, recently as well, Jason Schreier, the infamous man of drops, man of news tidbits, did confirm, alongside with the DLC, apparently campaign DLC will also be released with the map pack, which makes a lot of sense considering this is going to be like a resurgence in terms of like I said earlier, a shot of adrenaline in Call of Duty to sustain the second year with the game not having another release, official new new Call of Duty title until 2024. So hey, more time playing Modern Warfare 2. Yes, please. Yes. I'll take it willingly. You hear me? I'll take it willingly. I'll take it happily. Moving on. Apparently, Horizon Zero Dawn is getting remade. So this was via a leaked Sony Online Entertainment document that actually had a lot of various tidbits in it, but probably one of the more notable ones specifically is Horizon PS5 remaster. I guess it's more fair to call it a remaster, but maybe that is the big misconception, is that the fact that it's being remade similar to The Last of Us Part 1, but it actually is being remastered versus I think it's now I'm confusing myself. There's remaster, and then what's the other one? Remaster is where you literally remake a game. Remaster, remake. Yeah, that's what's messing me up. So remaster is essentially essentially porting the game by, in terms of transferring all the assets of the original game, the engine and whatnot, but sprucing up the graphics generally, and maybe adding a few minuscule things to it, like a skin or something like that. But a remaster is basically rebuilding the game from the ground up, in a generally a totally different engine. That can vary, but that's the general gist. So I think the big kerfuffle was, I think people were mistaking this for a remake when it's a remaster. Remaster is fine. I think it is, but it is, I think, still kind of weird to remaster a PS4 game that's what, only like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, if they, especially if they don't charge for it, then that's totally fine. But I assume that they're gonna try to charge, if they're gonna try to charge us $70 again to play the game. That's where I definitely have issue. But I guess time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah, you got some of the expected Horizon Forbidden West um being released on PC, on the slate to be released on PC, as well as DLC and support Horizon Online. That's interesting. So apparently it's some maybe, I'm assuming, some multiplayer game set in the Horizon universe. Heard about Horizon VR. Some game called Heartbreak, survival horror game. I'm not sure if we heard about that yet. Destruction All Stars, even though this came out, I'm not sure if this is referring to a game that's already released. Yeah, you got Returnal, Ronin, I think the one game we saw at the recent State of Play. Yeah, so at least the most notable definitely was the Horizon PS5 remaster, which is just a little weird, a little jarring. But I mean, I guess maybe that's the environment we're in now. Like, considering how close the PS4 is to the PS5, that, you know, maybe it is easier to do said like remasters and stuff like that, or maybe there's a legitimate reason to do so. I guess we'll find out when we do, but it definitely is admittedly pretty weird. I have to admit. So, keeping on that PlayStation train, cheat cheat. In addition, also talking about PSVR 2. So this came out a little while ago that PSVR 2 won't be compatible with PSVR games. I guess this was via blog post via PlayStation.com. And man, I have to say off the rip, this is a horrible idea. Hopefully this means, yeah, based off what that just the statement alone, that is a horrible idea. Considering how minuscule the VR market is in of itself, you definitely want to have as many games as possible to make PSVR 2 even that much more enticing for somebody who maybe didn't get a PSVR 1. And, considering how presumably expensive it is compared to like how much time am I going to be using this versus, just the standard console itself. That's a big ask for a lot. It's not like I said, I have to have an immature moment. It's not like I said big ass, but big ask for a lot of people to jump and dive into all willy nilly. Of course they got RE8 VR. That's probably the only one thing that stood out to me specifically. But I would have liked to play RE7 VR because that was something I was wanting to do. But it's like now PSVR 2 is coming out and I don't want that. And then if you want to play, you still want to play RE7 VR, you're going to have to buy a original PSVR on top of PSVR 2. And then that's going to be an annoying process in of itself, because you're going to have to connect a device, a little box that basically, I believe, splits the HDMI connection, but the HDMI connection is HDMI 2.0, which is going to be incompatible if you have a HDMI 2.1 compatible TV. That's just irritating. Somebody who's like, I guess considers himself to be fairly on the, cutting edge when it comes to technology and stuff like that. But that's just irritating. Then I'm gonna have to switch it out. Well, technically I wouldn't. I think it primarily uses the USB USB 3.0 connection on the front of the PS5. So I mean that's somewhat of a benefit, but still, it's like I don't want to I don't want to compromise my PS5's uh capability just for PSVR 1 to handicap my connection of having to go down to 4K 60 when I have the capabilities of 4K 120 with the bottleneck being the PSVR. I don't want to do that. That's just, I'm not even sure if the PSVR 1 works with PS5. Yeah, I think it does, because I know you could get an adapter, so that technically does, but that's too much, man. That's too much. Asking me, no. And then on top of having to deal with making space for it in California, I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know about that. Just a horrible idea all around. If anything, I say at the very least, they just really need to work on bringing the PSVR 1 games to be made available to PSVR 2 by, updating it to be compatible with PSVR 2, or, even, I mean, I wouldn't be a fan of it, but literally like re-releasing the game for PSVR 2 to kind of work around that issue, if anything. And I know there are some hurdles because they technically use generally different forms of technology in a way, and that would need some work. But I'd say whatever you got to do, PlayStation, throw as much money as you can, because that's only gonna help make this device that much more appealing to the consumer. That definitely is, I was thinking about it, debating, considering, but now it's like, the only game that really wanted me to get PSVR was, again, RE7, and then now with RE8 VR. But that's the only game I could see myself really wanting to play. Nothing else is striking me like that new Horizon VR game didn't really look that appealing to me. Didn't speak to me, at least. There's just, it's not enough for me personally to jump. Now, if like the whole reason for this, if there was the whole plethora of PSVR games as well, with along with the PSVR 2, then that would definitely make it way more enticing for me. Because I know I had some super cheap miscellaneous games. I know games I got from PS Plus that I would, oh yeah, I already got these, and then that would sweeten the deal for me to, actually make the jump. But especially with this news, I don't really see myself diving in for a PSVR 2. I just do not. Unfortunate though. There really is. Sticking with or shall I say keeping that VR train going. Choo choo. Meta Quest Pro was announced during Meta's, like, I guess I don't even know what they call it. It was some meta the meta. I don't know. But the Meta Quest Pro was announced. Looks pretty neat. It's fully black. You love to see it. It looks definitely the skinniest, the slimmest of, the previous line of Meta products, Meta Quest products. It looks very slim, very form-fitting. I definitely would love to wear one and test it out. They'll probably have some kiosks at Best Buys and stuff at some point, I would assume. but it looks clean. It looks clean. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's always the issue with VR headsets. It's like it's hard to look cool with a VR headset on. I don't know. I can't. I've not seen one person that looks necessarily like, man, that dude look cool with a VR headset on. Until we get to that day, then I would say, you know what? Yeah, VR is definitely making some moves. This is somewhat close. I mean, it definitely just looks like straight up glasses. Just maybe a bigger form of glasses, not as like, intrusive as the other headsets. It doesn't look as crazy or wild, but it still is there. But yeah. Got the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 5G chipset, 256 gigs of storage, 100 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, 4K for each eye. What else? Or 20, maybe not. 2160 by 2160 pixels display resolution. I believe that's 4K. Maybe 2K. Let me look that up so I don't look like an idiot. Yeah, that's generally 3840 by 2160. So that's essentially 4K, I guess, given the dynamics with this headset, I think. Got the dual Tianjin 3 QLED panels, okay. A little QLED going. 10 sensors and IR depth projector for mixed reality. So that is one of the I think the points of this headset too, is that this is going to try to do some mix between VR and AR, supposedly. I think other devices have tried this. I forgot which one, but it was kind of janky. So I guess we'll see if this actually is able to do that. But only time will tell. I guess the one caveat that I noticed is apparently the battery is weaker than the Quest 2, and the Quest 2 is like, I guess, 3 hours on a good day. This is a 5,000 milliamp battery, so you're looking at about 2 hours. Give or take. That's that's a tough ask. I mean, of course, you can have it connected to a device where it's charging while you're playing it, but then it's the whole issue with being tethered, which I think that's the biggest issue a lot of people have with VR, is like being tethered to something where you don't feel that you can like freely move around and have like a good range of motion or whatever, so I don't know, man. Oh, I forgot to mention, of course, all for the low price of $1,500. Somebody give me oh, do I got it? I'm gonna try it live. Ooh. That works. That works very much. That's your wallet dying. Your wallet literally dying trying to buy this. Get the one meme. We don't have the capacity. Oh, that's too good. That is too good. Yeah, so it also is backwards compatible with the Quest 2, so pretty much everything that you could play on the Quest 2, you'll be able to play on the Quest Pro. So new touch controllers, they look pretty sleek and slick. Why not both? Yeah. That price is a huge ask. So That's the only thing initially I see as an issue, but yeah, probably after time passes and nobody buys it, they're like, then when they cut the price, they're like, okay, might be time to jump in. But yeah, with that initial price, no, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. No, thank you. Pretty cool though. I know they also announced that they purchased some companies. I know one of the companies in particular, one of the greatest companies that made RE4 VR. What was the company? What was the company? Look up. Bill. Let's see. Okay, it was called MetaConnect. MetaConnect. So MetaConnect. Who? I know what it was, but damn it. Let's see. RE4 VR. Armature Studio. That's at least one. And I think there was another one, but I can't recall. But they bought Armature Studio, the developer for they helped port RE4 to VR and was very well done. I am still just amazed at the work they did with that. So MetaQuest Pro, they also announced a partnership with Microsoft to bring workplace tools to VR. So I think this is mainly for Microsoft Teams to apparently use in the workplace. So that's gonna be interesting. Being able to use progressive web app versions of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. That's gonna be a thing. Yeah, there's apparently this whole working in VR thing. VR headsets might replace our desktops altogether. Yeah, definitely believe it when I see it. That's a huge that is a huge if. Yeah, I guess there's push to fitness and exercise, which is actually a main reason I've used the Quest a lot. So I guess they're adding a bundle for so you won't be so sweaty in your $1,500 headset. Yeah, that would be nice. Apparently a partner in NBC Universal to develop experiences around like The Office, IPs like The Office, Monsters, DreamWorks, and things of that nature. Oh yeah, then the weird revelation that you can use legs in VR now apparently for your meta avatar. So there's that, I guess. I don't know. Yay, legs in VR, yay. So yeah, outside of that, that was pretty much at least the highlights there. So all in all, pretty cool. At least believe it, fully commit when I see it. If the price gets low enough where it actually is enticing, but that's exit for a lot there, buddy. Not 100% on that. Moving on. Also, we we finally saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. There's a direct as well as a like official teaser. I mainly just caught the teaser. Have to say, really everything looked good. Just visually, everything looked great. Everything looked like how I would envision like a Mario movie to look. So that was pretty awesome. And I hear it was apparently it took like 7 years to even do this movie, like in general, I guess, which is crazy. But loved everything. Jack Black's Bowser. Hey, that was a hey. If whatever I was thinking in my head for Bowser, Jack Black nailed it. I really dug it. Obviously, a lot of relevancy to the games, of course, which I definitely enjoy, loved. But we gotta talk about the big ass elephant in the room, which is Chris Pratt, which was one of the most peculiar choices in terms of casting that was made. And man, oh boy. So we to give benefit of the doubt, it was only like a blurb, like a 3 seconds of dialogue we got from Mario in the movie. We say, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. And I'm not doing it justice, of course, but man, dude sounded straight up like Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers. Straight up. That's what I initially picked him on. And everybody of course started making that association. Some people just said he just sounds like himself, but supposedly as Mario, which is I'd rather them try to have him have an accent than him just be his normal voice, because then it's like it's just Chris Pratt. It's just Chris Pratt. What are we doing? So anyway, there's that. But that's really the only negative thing I had, and you never know, they could switch that up when the main movie comes out. I think sometime around April, May, March next year or so. So they have some time to kind of work on his voice, because that's definitely going to be an issue. So, but outside of that, everybody else I thought was pretty great. At least that we heard was pretty awesome. So, I'm digging it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix whatever they gotta fix, hopefully, with Mario. But I think another thing that's a part, I think, our issue in of ourselves is that we've been used to hearing Charles Martinet, who's like the just definitive voice of Mario, especially in the games and whatnot. So it's gonna, anybody's voice is being different is gonna be tough. But I mean, if I thought of somebody to play Mario, it definitely would not be Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is the last person maybe not last, but like fourth to last person I would want to be Mario in a Mario movie, of like in a Italian plumber. I don't know. It's just, especially because we've been trained by the games in terms of who Mario is and his personality. I just don't see Chris Pratt being able to nail that unless he just goes very, very out of character or whatever. But we'll see. They did it. They played it really well to, not necessarily hurt, Chris Pratt too much, but at least get some fan feedback like, hey, this ain't it. This ain't it. So, I'm definitely going to watch it either way, but at least off of that trailer, at least Chris Pratt just, I guess apparently said his voice is unlike anything you've heard of in the Mario universe. That's very true, and in the most negative way possible, but we'll see. we'll see. We will see. With that being said, that will conclude the news for this week. Let's get into what I've been playing. Of course, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I pretty much beat it finally. It feels like it's been like ever since it came out in June, and I've been doing like little bite-sized bits here and there, but then with the last few weeks, I've been like putting some serious time into it, and pretty damn good. Some pretty damn good DLC, I have to say. Very, 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 very good DLC. I think it answered a lot of Monster Hunter fans' issues with the game, which was just like give us some more challenging monsters to face, and just a G rank type Monster Hunter grind, which they definitely did in a lot of ways. Still felt easy, but maybe I'm just speaking from somebody who's experienced in the Monster Hunter games, but it still felt pretty fun. I played on PC, so I think I mentioned it a bit, but had to regrind to get up to being able to play in the DLC, which I successfully did, and then pretty much rolled credits and did a little bit of end game stuff after that, and just got to the point where, like, you know what, I'm good. I feel good. I can move on. So at least I have some stuff open if trying to play with friends or whatnot. But at least for now, I'm good. I'm content. It was pretty fun. Another cool addition I have to mention was actually playing this a lot on my Steam Deck, which is cool. Trying to get that full experience of, play a game on the go, sync to the cloud save, and then be able to play on my desktop, which was pretty dope, I have to say. Steam Deck, man, shouts out to the Steam Deck. I'm really, that's a purchase I'm very glad I did go through with, cause man, that in of itself was just great. But yeah, overall, Sunbreak, pretty great. Monster Hunter fan, definitely recommend. I feel like I've talked about this briefly before, so I feel like I'm going over, but it feels like it's so long. But either way, you get the gist. You get the idea. You get the concept. Also played the last week of the Modern Warfare 2 beta, which feels like so long ago now, but played the second week of the Modern Warfare 2 beta, which I guess they apparently made some changes. I did notice they made the timed perk system a little bit faster, which I don't know. Even after I think I've expressed my issue with the timed perk system, I just wish they just give us the traditional just rugged and raw perk system. You just have, all of your perks up front, or I think like I mentioned, the better idea is to have those perks be turn pro, where they're amplified as time goes on, which I think is the best kind of middle ground for players' issues with this system versus what the developers are trying to implement and mix up the game, make the game new or whatever. But it just feels arbitrary, like I said before. So hopefully, I doubt it will be changed by the time of release, but hopefully down the line they'll probably patch it where maybe they will do at least the pro system, the timed pro system or something like that. So outside of that, Oh yeah, I did exploit some. I might have mentioned it, but exploit some new bugs in the game that let you play game guns that you're not supposed to use yet. Of course, the perk glitch where you can use deadly silence, which you don't get until level 30, that you can exploit and use earlier by doing a little trickery in the UI, the menu UI when making perks and stuff. Um, Outside of that, that's been really my biggest gripe. I feel like I can't really get a full vibe of everything until the full game comes out, where I can actually play all the available maps that at least drop at launch, and get a feel for the weapon progression system as well as the weapons, to kind of get my feelings in there as well. So overall, at least it felt pretty solid, at least from what was there. But definitely looking forward to releasing what, like, the next few weeks, baby. Yeah, yeah, I gotta do it. Yeah. All right. Um. Also played played that water. That's what I also played Neon White. So I just had this random urge, like, man, I really want to play Neon White, but specifically the level run mode, which is basically a speed run mode for Neon White, since the game obviously caters itself to be speed run. I'm curious what the official terminology is. Speed ran. To be we'll say speed ran. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I like did it maybe a little over 2 hours, I want to say, which is kind of crazy, thinking like it felt like 10 hours for me to beat the game. But obviously the story elements and whatnot. But it was pretty fun. Of course, that awesome soundtrack by Machine Girl, which is just just a damn godlike soundtrack, I have to say, because man, you in the zone, and you vibe into some Machine Girl shooting and platforming and all that stuff, and just that whole combination. It was just it was good. It was like euphoria. It was kind of sexual, not gonna lie. And the most positive nonsense. It was sexual in the most non-sexual way. So yeah, that was very fun, very fulfilling. Also, being able to, at least referring back to memory from the past times you played the game, in terms of how the maps are running and whatnot. But of course, I had to restart, a few maps pretty often. But at least it wasn't as I don't know, soul killing as it would be otherwise, I guess, having beaten the game before. But it was pretty cool. It definitely gave a whole new vibe to the game. It felt like a traditional old school type game, being able to speed run the game and whatnot. But I did choose to do the linear option. Shouts out to anybody in their right mind that can do the random option. I forgot what they call it. I think they call it heaven or hell, or maybe that's referring to like playing the stages like mirrored or whatever. But either way, it's pretty cool. Neon White, man, give Neon White his flowers, man. Give Neon White his flowers. It's a damn good game, man. I hope it gets a lot of at least indie game of the year awards. Hell, even game of the year awards. Put it in there. See, I feel like Neon White is going to be a game that is not going to get the love and respect it deserves, but it should. It should, and the fact that it potentially won't, it hurts. It breaks my heart personally. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I digress. Also, finally played No More Heroes 3 for the PS5. So the additional platforms finally released this week. And boy, at least graphically, whoo, night and day, man. Especially having to, play through the not the best Nintendo Switch version. It is, I have to say, it's a very great improvement. At least for PS5, it seems to play at 4K 60, which is a huge jump compared to the Nintendo Switch version. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was playable, and it was a technical achievement to be playing 60 FPS in certain segments of the game as well. But overall, at least specifically, definitely the open world segments, they felt that the Switch was the Switch was struggling. Just that it was some struggles to be had. I heard my Switch take off, getting ready to take off. No, I'm playing. I can't be saying that, but it was passable. It was playable. So I'm not a big person on graphics. And as long as the gameplay is good and it's not like necessarily atrocious, then I'm down. I am down. But if it's I can't even say that because I played Deadly Premonition 2 the whole way, even including the side stuff. And that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. Like 20 frames per second type game, and that was rough. So I can't even say that, but obviously I prefer better graphics if the option is there. So but yeah, with this game, yeah, that's probably the biggest difference is obviously the huge graphical upgrade. I guess there's a separate team that worked on this to port it specifically. And it shows. It looks great. Runs pretty much a damn lock 60. It feels like at least. I'm happy. I'm happy. You get some of the adaptive trigger interaction when you're on the bike. What else? I guess that's where it really ends. I guess one of the gripes, if I could have one, is that I hoped that they maybe increase the density of the pedestrians in the game, where at least it feels like it's just the same as the Switch port, where they didn't add any volume density of pedestrians and I don't know, other cars or whatever. That would have been a nice addition, because I know that given it came from the Switch, I know it definitely would have been capable of doing it. So apparently there's been some discourse regarding the game, specifically like the PC port. Well, discrepancy between the PS5 and PC port specifically. I guess nobody plays it on the Xbox, but is that the textures are better on the Switch compared to PS5, but I feel like that's even subjective, depending on your taste, it feels like. But apparently modders going at work on a game like to get multiplayer going. Hey, I'm all for it. Give me 4 Travises beating up these fools. I'm also playing it on bitter. I think that's the hardest, at least off the bat. I know there's additional harder mode that you unlock after beating it, I believe, but that's been a little rough, a little challenging. But I'm like, I already beat it, so like, let me at least just play it at the hardest, just out of curiosity, because I don't think I did do that. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm on the 7th, I think, assassin. But hey, everything seems to be working fine. It looks beautiful, glorious. Playing No More Heroes 3 at 4K 60. Thank you, Suda. Thank you, Marvelous. Thank you guys so much. I mean, now it's like when are we getting the No More Heroes 1 and 2 for PS5 and, well, I guess the rest of the consoles, mainly PS5 and Xbox. But I think it might be after the port of they fixed the PC port, which they recently announced as well that they're fixing the PC port, because I've I've shared my discourse with the PC ports of 1 and 2, the fair share issues I've had with it. So my assumption is that they're probably going to fix up the PC port, and after they at least confirm that those are fixed, then we'll probably get the PS5 Xbox ports of 1 and 2. So like that always got to me, like, how are you gonna why would you release the third game in a series when you don't have the previous games in the said series on the same platform? That never really made sense to me. But at least I just take it as an implication that they gotta release the 1 and 2 at this point now. And I think, considering that at least 3 was exclusive to the Switch and then eventually went to the consoles now, that I think 1 and 2 is probably going to have the same fate, hopefully. And please, if we do get a PlayStation version, come on, just give us that when Sylvia speaks to us, give us the option to hear it through the controller. I just give me some novelty, because just give me that novelty, please. If they know what they're doing, they're gonna do it. The capability is right there. Just give me what I want. Marvelous. Give me Suda, Marvelous. I know you hear me. Give me what I want. Just give me what I want. It's easy. Just port the codecs and the programming, just to have whenever I talk to Sylvia on the phone. I just raise my controller, put it in my ear. Sylvia talking all that bullshit that I don't really want to hear, but I want to hear because of the novelty, I'm just saying. I just would like that very much. But I digress. And with that being said, that concludes if I could find my damn mouse. It's so fast. Where did it go? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry. That concludes what I've been playing this week. So let's get into what I've been watching, which has really just been She-Hulk. Actually watched the finale last night. Man, where do I start? So I know it's been a few episodes since we last spoke, but I definitely enjoyed the majority of She-Hulk. Some episodes were maybe a little hit or miss there, but were still enjoyable regardless. And then we had the finale. So not gonna spoil too much necessarily. I'll just say that at least after I watched it initially, I watched it, I was like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, that was pretty satisfying. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, did they just really break the fourth wall and like kind of ruin the ending? And then that's what I started feeling like, I don't know. And my issue is not necessarily with breaking the fourth wall, but I think it's how you do it that really you have to be very careful with, to not, I don't know, just make it feel too contrived, I guess. I don't know, which I felt is the path they kind of went unintentionally, where I don't know. It's like I dig fourth wall breaking stuff. Like, I love Deadpool. I like a lot of his fourth wall breaking stuff, but I know this is within She-Hulk's plethora of stuff that she at least does in the comics. But at least in the specific instance of the finale and how they did it, I just was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it was just how they did it. I just wasn't really a fan of, and I won't go into details specifically, but it just was. It felt a little too forced for me. I think that's how I'm feeling. It felt a little too forced. I think maybe there was some way to do it better, but I can't even say how they could do it better. It just not that without saying too much. So it put a sour taste in my mouth after that. It was definitely some cool stuff that they did do that I again won't mention, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. I really don't. But other than that, it was overall a good show. I like the change of pace from, the standard cookie cutter Marvel formula. But I enjoyed it. I really did. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I notably watched, at least. So I think that will conclude episode 100 and something. If my mouse just won't stop acting up. Where are you going? 164 of Switch's sites. If you enjoy the podcast, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your various podcasting platforms. 5 stars are greatly appreciated. All that good stuff. You can catch an archive on youtube.com/switch as well. Yeah. And with that being said, get your damn game on. Feel free to fuck. Yeah. Nobody's safe.